Hi, my name is Kylie Bartel, and I have been learning with A Horseman's Pursuit and Josh and Brooke for actually almost a year now, but kind of intensively since June. My background started in trail riding when I was around 5, and then just rode around on the farm until I was about 8, and then I got lessons and rode English at a horseback riding eventing barn, and had a lot of fun just eventing at low levels throughout middle school and high school, and then got into trail riding when I went to university, and yeah, I've always loved horses and have been mostly doing trail riding since then. So part of my background in my professional world is that I am a Canadian certified counselor. So I have my master's degree in counseling psychology, and my favorite area to work in is equine assisted mental health. So I think horses offer us a lot of opportunity to grow, and they help us a lot when it comes to understanding ourselves and how we can be healthier in relationships with others. So I've always really appreciated how horses have helped me grow as a person, and so I wanted to learn more about that, and so I went and studied that at school. And after I finished my master's in counseling psychology, I was looking for a horsemanship mentor to take my understanding of horses to a deeper level. And I got a chance to meet with a couple different people, and I watched a couple different clinics, and something that really struck me about Josh's style is that he understands horses in a way that is very, very deep. I remember sitting at one of the first clinics that I watched, and he mentioned about how there was he named a vertebrae in the neck that needed to be able to release in order to move athletically, and his understanding of the horse anatomy and how that connects to not only their athleticism in whatever discipline they're working in, but also how that connects to their mind and how they feel about their job and what they're being asked to do, was just it was beautiful. And you just watched these horses that go from feeling anxious and worried and not knowing where they fit and not feeling necessarily like their needs are being met with humans. And then he just kind of gets in there and helps meet their needs, and all of a sudden they just they find a peace and they find a calmness, and then their owners tend to see a new possibility that they didn't even realize existed until they saw it. And then I watched a few clinics, and then I brought my horse Misty here, and I've had Misty for about 10 years now. She's been my quarter horse trail partner for the years that I was in and out of university. And when I started working with her, I knew a lot about disciplines. So I knew about how to pace out a cross-country course, or how to ride a dressage test, but I didn't necessarily understand why horses needed to look a certain way or to be able to put their head in a certain space. I just knew that certain behaviors from the horses would get me better results in a show arena. And that was kind of the platform I was taking into Misty. She was kind of just a Greenbroke brood mare that I got at 9, and she'd been started and then had a couple years off, and then I was sort of restarting her. And she very quickly told me that if I packaged her up into what I thought was a good frame or something like that, she told me through, she was highly anxious, highly herd bound, would race around a lot, just a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. And so I tried my best, and I did the best I could, and we did a lot of trail riding. It wasn't necessarily a lot of highly schooled or productive work, but I ended up bringing her to Josh's ranch this past summer, and one of the first things that he said to me was that she can't feel you. You're there holding the lead rope, and she's doing circles around you, and you're talking to me, and she can't feel you, and you're kind of disconnected from her. And I was just and that was very evident because she was doing circles around me, and I never really understood that dynamic was setting the whole foundation for saddling and putting the halter on and going all the way through into riding. And knowing what I know about mental health and my own background, sometimes I know I have trouble feeling my own feelings because they get overwhelming, so I can numb out. That's part of my stuff. And so it made a lot of sense to me when it's like, how is she supposed to feel me when I have a hard time feeling myself? And so I think one of the things that I loved so much about being at Josh's ranch and learning from his style was that it was safe to feel what I felt and to notice what was happening for me. And then that really started to build a new dynamic with me and my horse. And we still have a long way to go. We haven't got it all figured out yet, but even the first step of being aware that we could be so much more connected than we are is a really big learning. And I've been really grateful to be on that journey, developing more understanding for what the horse needs. Because it's ironic that a lot of times what they need is also maybe what I needed in another part of my world and didn't get. And then I kind of get a chance to relearn a new way of relating as I see what they need and go, okay, like maybe when I was anxious in the past and didn't know how to get my needs met, and then I would shut down. Well, the horses don't shut down and try to play these games and preserve themselves the way that people do. They will keep telling you they're not okay until they get their needs met. And so, yeah, it's just kind of taught me a whole new level of how to validate my own experiences and show up in relationship. And it's really, really cool that even as I work with a couple different horses, the more I show up, the more they kind of go, oh, okay, there you are, we can move forward now. And it creates a lot more of an honest and clean dynamic. So yeah, that's kind of what has been some of my token key learnings so far. And it's always growing because it truly is a horseman's pursuit. You never fully arrive, but it's a very rewarding journey.